Hi friends, I'm back. I am so happy to be creating again. It's been a couple of rough weeks with everything that's been going on. But anyway, I'm glad to be back and have my creative juices going again. So I have a quick little flip for you today. I hope that you can pick up a few tips here and there, maybe some ideas, something you may want to try. I wanted to create something cutie, like I used to create a lot of real pretty pink stuff before. And I'm also loving the boho vibe thing now, but I wanted to create something a little different. And like I said, it's kind of cute, and also kind of like a goodbye to summer type of thing with all the nice spring colors and summer colors. So I came up with this journal. I'm happy to say one already found a happy home, but I still have some in my Etsy store. I'm going to link that underneath. And again, my Etsy, I always ship free. I always ship with lots of goodies. Everybody that has purchased from me knows that I love doing that, and whatever I have that I can share, I love to do that. And what else can I say? My journals are always shipped with extra insurance, and all that is on me. So this journal is going to come with a little goodie package that I put together. They're all a little bit different. They're a little bit different, but you get more or less the same things. You're gonna get, I don't know if I should open the whole thing up because I have it so nice and pretty, but I'll take some of the things out so you can see. This is a little different. This is a print, excuse me, of a vintage card. You can journal in the back. They're all a little different. This is going to be a little different with every journal. You're going to get a piece of the inspiration for this journal was this quilt that I love. I used every single little scrap of it left. I don't know if I have any bundles. Actually, it was a couple of things. I had put some bundles together for my shop. They were like, I've been collecting little stuff that had to do with embroidery. And I put these bundles together in my shop. And then I said to myself, wouldn't that be nice if I can do a journal that's inspired by embroidery? So it has a lot of little tidbits of embroidery, little things here and there. And another thing that inspired this journal was this fabric right here that I have been saving for a while. And I picked up at a garage sale a panel, and it had these cute little girls on the panel, on the fabric itself. So that also inspired me to incorporate the embroidery with these sweet little images. I think some of them are like I probably put it away already, but it had like two little images together, but I went ahead and I cut them individually so I could go ahead and make my journals. So you're going to get a piece of the quilt that I use, that's the base of the journal, so that you can do your own little embellishments or whatever you like. I try to keep this journal, I do tend to over embellish, and because I like doing that. That's so relaxing to me. It's like therapeutic, and it seems like you guys like that too, because I can't, the minute I put a journal out there, it's gone. So, but this one, for me, I went a little bit lighter, left plenty of room for you to make it your own and do whatever you like, and then that's why I gave you a little extra, so you can maybe add make like a little tag or anything you like. I gave you an extra one of these cute little girls. I thought of also stuffing them with cotton and doing a little something, but I didn't do it. But what else do you get with the little bundle? You get some Battenberg, a few pieces of fabric that are great for little details, whatever you like to. This is Ashley I think these were sheets. I love that. I was able to pick some up brand new, which was awesome. I have a little tiny embroidery sample piece back here that would look nice. This is real fabric. Then I made a little ruffle that you can add to like a little tag or whatever you like, and just some cute little pieces of just little things that I think would look cute with the journal. I also thought these would look cute. I left them out, but you can incorporate them if you like. And they're held by a brad, and there's like a whole bunch of them that will make for like a great little, you know, journaling, extra little journaling spot. I have a little card back here. What do I have here? Let me get this out. Just a little journaling card. You can journal in the back. This is another little journaling card. This goes with some of the paper that I use in the collection. And then here is a little envelope back here, and there is a copy of a coloring book. I think it's a hobby, no, Dolly Hobby or Hobby, I don't know, from the 70s and 80s back there in that pattern paper color, brown paper color, which is cute. And this is just a folded little that you can easily turn into a little booklet or just journal inside. And then I have like a cute little tag that matches the paper collection that I use. So this little care package, this little package goes with the journal. So you get that and then the journal. So now let's get to the good part. I had so much fun, guys, making this. Because it's all my favorite colors and it was just a blast. And let me show you the back so you can see the naked quilt piece. Like I said, this is really a vintage quilt. There's a few areas in the journals that had like real big tatter area, so I try to cover it up, but you're still going to see a little bit of the tattering. I think that's what makes this quilt so pretty. It's all hand, I don't know if you can see it, but it's hand sewn. And I think what makes it so pretty is the fact that it's really vintage. So I love it. And I use some of this, I think you call this, what do you call this, Battenberg lace. I love, this is one of my favorite laces to tea dye and one of my favorite laces to use. So this is the back. I have a little bit of tulle coming over that, you know, draped over on this side. Now for the binding, I used it's a one signature, and it's the, I forgot what that stitch is called, but it's that very basic stitch. And what I did is that to reinforce a little bit the stitch, I went ahead and I did like a little hinge, like a little pretend hinge with this really pretty lace that I've been saving. So just to pretend. And yeah, it's soft, it's pliable and it's soft, it's covered, but it's all fabric and it feels really good and yummy to the touch. So let me show you. I presented it like this with this little envelope and kind of like her little face peeking through, and this little envelope and a little journaling card. So let me just open her up. This, like I said, this is part of the fabric that came with these little girls, and it has a really cute little daisy print on it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really cute and I love it. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, I brighten it up a little bit. I hope it's not too bright. Okay, so it opens up like this. Let me show you the little, it's got the cutest little, I hope you can see it. See the prettiest little soft, this to me, this speaks summer to me. It's really cute. So, and it's all tattered and I frayed it, so that's what wraps the journal around. And then in the top, as a little presentation, little thing that you can carry, you can actually put that inside if you like. I have a little journaling card that you can journal in the back. I have this really sweet little envelope, and I'm going to list where I got this from. And I have been collecting and saving this trim for like ever, and I love it. It is the softest cream and I just love it. This I picked up at an estate sale from this really sweet family in Dothan, a bigger city than where I live, and I love it. And it's just real old and I think it's one of the sweetest pieces of trim that I own, and I love that a lot. You're going to see a lot of labels throughout this journal that are numbers. I wanted to do a lot of numbers. I'm thinking of school, kids, I don't know. So my labels are all a lot of numbers. And these labels are from, let me see. I want to give you as much, I'm going to list it underneath, but I want to give you as much information as I can. These are from this company. And I am like, I found these new labels, and I'm like in love with her labels too. So you're going to see some of those labels throughout a lot. So in this little envelope right here, I have, what do I have in here? Oh, just a little journaling card. Again, I try to use a lot of this. This is like a little robin's egg blue. I try to use a lot of that blue, and I also try to use a lot of regular blue and pinks and a little bit of green, and I love it. And then I have this little vintage looking receipt that you can journal in the back and put a little secret note in there for yourself, or maybe write to yourself about what the journal is about. I also had a goal this year that I did not fulfill, and I'm going to fulfill it next year, and I'm hoping that I might be able to. I did make me a smaller version of this journal for me, but I'm hoping if I don't sell out, I might keep one for me. Because my goal was, I really want to learn to embroider, which that's just not my thing. I find that so overwhelming and so difficult. I don't know why. One of my sisters embroider, and my mom taught her, and she does a really good job, and she makes everything that she does look so easy. So I've been motivated to do that. I've been watching some videos, but I didn't get to it this year. So hopefully for next year, I want to learn how to do that. Even if it's just little, even if it's like 1 or 2 stitches, I would love to learn how to do that. So that also was the motivating factor in this journal. So here I have a little journaling card. You can journal in the back. I was going to cover this, but I left it like that. And I have this piece of beautiful embroidery, and I had just enough for all the journals to put a little bit on the edge. I made this little journaling card. I have some vintage book pages back here, and this is a little embroidery pattern that I found some again at some garage sales, and I used a real piece and I love it. Some music sheet paper back here, and I backed it up with some brown paper bag that I love to use and, you know, wrinkle up and make it all. I love that. I love that brown paper bag look. You guys know that. And then here's that cute little image. I love her. She's so sweet. She's a gardener, so she's adorable. And I gave her just a little, put a little tulle on top of her just to mute down the colors a little bit. But on the one that I gave her, you can use it straight up if you like. And then here I made a little cluster, and for the back of my cluster I use this label. I think this is a Tracy label. I'm going to link everything like I said underneath. I did a little ruffle in this sari silk right here, and I put this cute little trim. This is where the little piece of veil came from, this trim. And then I made a little really cute, put some seed beads, a really cute little, just as a little something, and I wanted to incorporate all the colors that I have going in here. So I found some seed beads in pink, and then I had this really cute blue one in my stash, so I used that. So I think that makes for like a really pretty cover just to look at. So that goes there. Now to the journal itself. Let's take this out of here. And this is the front of the actual journal. And again, you can see the quilt piece underneath. This piece right here, this paisley, I love paisleys, and this here, as you can see, it's all sewn. It's underneath and it's all sewn. And this also came off, I think this came off of a child's blanket or something, I want to say, but I had just enough for all the journals, so I sewed that underneath. And then I went ahead and covered the whole thing up with this really pretty tool that has a little embroidery going on here. And on this, in this case, I used the back side of the tool because sometimes I like the back of the stitching excuse me, better than the front, so that's what I used. And then on the bottom I did a little bit of layering, actually like a lot of layering. Down here I have another piece of that Battenberg lace. This is coming from the inside of the journal. This is on the front of the journal. I love the look of eyelet. If I tea dye it, I'll use it in my boho journals, but if I don't tea dye it like this, I like to use it on these dainty little soft journals. This little fringe here came off it's really sweet and soft, just a tiny little fringe. This came off a piece of fabric, and I love it so much. It's so soft and pretty. This tattered little piece is from a piece of fabric. I think this might have been something in a little girl's room. I'm not sure, or maybe a dress. I don't remember, but I tattered it up. And then this came from the back, from the trimming around a little child's little blanket. So I cut that off, and that looks really, it's very soft and pretty, and it matches this blue. And then from my little focal area here, I have a little doily. And then I made a little rosette on the bottom with this really pretty trim that I had. I think it was like a runner or something. And then the edge of the runner had this little scallop little flower all over. So I went ahead and cut the little flowers up because they were like about this big. And then I cut them in half, and I kind of made them fit in there as a background pink. Then I have a little doily back here. This is a square little doily. And then this I cut off. This is just a little rosette I cut off, I think, off this tool. And then I have a vintage buttons. The buttons are different in all of them, but everything else, it's pretty much constructed the same way. Everything else is the same way. And then you can, the back is all naked, and I love how it feels when you touch it in the back. I just love it. And that's the front. And then here, I did sew around it, but it's in white, you can't really see it. And then here, I don't know what is about this lace that I just love. I use it, I still have a little bit left, I think, and I use it as often as I can because I just love it. I like the square of it, of the design, which is really hard to find because sometimes a lot of the laces have little flowers or swirls and stuff, but square is kind of, I don't know, I just like it. I like the fact that it's square. And then underneath, there's a little piece, you can see a little piece of that fabric underneath. And then here, what I did, this is a little bit of a, this is the top part of this eyelet material that I had. And the top part of the eyelet material was this really soft cottony fabric, and it has like a really sweet little stitch or something on the fabric, and I really like that. So I tattered it up, and I ruffled it up, and I made a ruffle for the front and a little ruffle for the back. And then up here is another piece of the Battenberg lace that's peeking out. Okay, so let's open this baby up, and let me show you what's in her. Like I said, the cover is soft, and it just feels so yummy. Okay, so you open her up. And then what I did is that I covered the inside with that fabric I told you. You can see the little flower there. This fabric is what's underneath that. So, and I had enough just so that I could do that. And then I put a little piece of lace for some mystery in front of it. So I think that looked, and then I just, you know, kind of trimmed the edges off a little bit just to make it a little bit neater. But sometimes I like doing that, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like it to be messy, but this time I don't know, it just looks so dainty that I wanted to make it like really nice and neat. And then here you can see my ruffle that I made, and all this is frayed, which I love. Okay, so for the opening of the journal, I just have a little piece of vellum just by itself that you have to turn to reveal what's underneath. And then what I did is a tab for the vellum. I just put 2 pieces of silk sari trim, which I was able to find. I had a lot of silk binding, seam binding in this color, but I thought that was a little bit dark for what I was going for. I wanted something a little lighter, and I was blessed with finding this really soft, pretty pink, and I love it. So I covered the both sides of the vellum, and I'm just going to go through it really quickly just to kind of show you. I have a little piece of tea dye doily here, and then one of my cellophane little bags here that I turn into like a little pocket. Put a little trim in the back. And then in this little pocket I have these two little sweet, I have this little envelope which brings a little bit of the darker. I was trying to incorporate some of the darker pink, but I still wanted some of the light pink. And then these printables had both, so I was so happy. And then here I just have a little tiny little sweet journaling card. And then what I did is that I made a little tiny little collage here with a little label, and then this little tag I sewed. What's really time consuming for me with my journals is that I do enjoy and like sewing, but it takes a lot of time. This journal has a lot of sewing, so that's what really is time consuming. I'm trying to working really hard at keeping, bringing the prices down a little bit on my journals, because I feel bad sometimes. I've had a few comments, people really like them, but if you guys that make journals, you know how much work goes into these things. And I mean, we do it because we love it, but a lot of work goes into these things and supplies. So I'm trying to ease down at least a little bit on my sewing, which is very time consuming, so I can bring my prices down just a little bit. And I did in this journal a little bit, I was able to do that. I used a lot of children's vintage books because I wanted to make it really cutie. Look how cute this little image is. Isn't that pretty? And then I have some of this fabric that I am in love with, this soft little fabric. So I cut a little tatter strip, and it's barely there, but it's there and it's beautiful. This is a really pretty printable of a embroidery pattern. And it has some of the blue, so I love it. You can journal in the back. This is a print. I love this. It's beautiful. And then the back of my printables I also printed just to bring down so it's not as white. This is a piece of eyelet. This is the very last piece, and you can see a seam there. And I like when my messy tabs look like they're recyclable materials. I love that. This is from another book, children's book, an old receipt, printable. Oh, I have this really pretty, I found this really pretty map atlas book, huge, and it's really, I've been looking for this because I've seen it in other people's journals, and I've been looking for maps that are printed in these soft pastel colors, and I found it. I found this book and I love it. So I finally got to use it, and I love all the colors. It was like made for this journal. Journaling space, another book. I love, love, love. I don't know if I have I think I have a bundle in my Etsy shop where this fabric is in there, and I love it so much. They look so pretty. So I had enough left that I was able to put some in there, and you see how it goes really pretty with that blue. I love that printable. And then back here I made like a little flip that you can journal in the back. And then I made a little cluster here where I used a little paper to cluster on a little label. This came off a little girl's blouse, I think. And then this also came off a blouse, and I love it. So this whole little collage, I love, 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 love. This is a children's coloring book just for a little extra texture. And then here I made a huge tuck spot. Let me bring it up close so you can see it. There's a lot going on in here. I'm going to have a little tutorial because I showed how I made some of these in the past, but I made some new ones. And I'm going to show you how I make these. They're like a lot of fun. I have I have a little piece of fabric back here. Right back in here. And here I have some of my newspaper, my brown paper bag, picking through. I did a little collage with children's book pages that I love, and then those number tabs that I'm, little tickets. And then I made a little tag for it. What I did in the back is that I cover the back. I put in the background, I put some of the embroidery vintage paper, and then I covered it up with a little bit of lace, and I sewed all the way around. So that took a little bit of time, and Yep, I love that. So here in this little tuck spot, I found this really cute little receipt. And it says, you know, needlework. And I love this. And I love a little bit of black in all of my journals. Just a little bit of black kind of anchors everything down. You can journal in the back. That goes in there. And then I made this really pretty tag. Again, to bring those pretty colors. And that goes in the little tuck spot. And, oh, and then up here I made another little card. Just a tiny little journaling card that tucks right in here. I used some book pages. Tucks right in here. And what else? Another receipt about that company again. That company that this is from. DMC. And again, about needlework and stuff like that. Another, you can journal in the back. Another pretty map. Here I made a little cluster out of this really pretty fabric that I am in love with, that I found a few months ago. I had it in my shop also. And it's, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like flocked. And it's see-through and it's very pretty. A little retro looking. I love it. And I think this is from some kind of linen back here. What else do I have? Another book page. And then here I made like a little tuck spot belly band type of thing with some book pages. I started out with a piece of file folder like this, and then I covered it up. Maybe I'll do a little tutorial. This is so simple to do, but it looks really pretty. With vintage book pages. And then here I have like a little tuck spot right here, and I have another cute little label and a little ticket with a little bow, and that just kind of tucks in here behind all that. And then on this side right here, there's another little tuck spot, and I have her. She's so sweet. I love her little shoes that match her little purse. I think she looks the sweetest thing. And I did I backed it up with some dictionary pages, and again those little number labels, and I only stitched on one side. I think she is so sweet and beautiful. And then back here I did one of these swirly things for extra journaling. You can journal in the back. I have a little journaling card here too. This one's lined, and then this one, and that one. I'm going to list all my printables underneath that I use. I think one of these is from my friend Roseanne. More of my tea dye, and these are all tea dyes. And I think at the end I splatter some coffee, so that's like a mixture. Vintage receipt, printable. This is the lace that I cut in half, and I tuck in here to make my little rosette that I showed you all. That was it. But in this case, on this little piece of vellum, I chose to make it a little tab. Another little children's book. I love these colors. A ledger paper. This is beautiful. This incorporates my entire journal, all these colors. You can journal in the back. Here I reinforce with a little washi, and then that really pretty dainty little see-through fabric that has a little bit of silver. I don't know if you can see it, but the little flower has a little sparkle, and it looks so pretty. I love it. So that's that. This is some of this fabric again. I made a little tab. Here I made a cute little, this just kind of comes right off. And then I used the seam on the top of the fabric that I loved. It has a little bit of the black, so I thought of using that, you know, taking advantage of if you can see it, is it focusing? Yeah. You know, on the very top of the fabric, it has like it prints where it's from. You know, that little top, you know, that little tab on top of all the fabric. I love the font on that lettering, so I used that to hold my little journaling card here. Really pretty in that robin's egg blue that I love. And I think these kids are so sweet. Look at her little doll and his little, I think it's like a little lunch bucket or something. adorable. And this one I did went ahead and I sewed all the way around, and I put a little bit of like a little messy tab up here. So that goes there with the little paper clip. More book pages. Here I made a really gigantic tag that's also removable. I like to put permanent things in my journal, but I also like to put some that you can move around wherever you want. If you want to hide like maybe a paragraph or something that you wrote and you want to hide that, you can move all the stuff around. Some of it is permanent, but some of it is you can move it around. Here I have a paper clip. I'll show you in a little bit. But here I made a gigantic tag, and I did a lot of collaging here. I used some dictionary page, of course, in the background, then some music sheet, then that embroidery, that vintage embroidery pattern paper, some of my brown paper bag. I think she looks so sweet with the little yellow socks to match her little dress. And then I made a little messy tab up here, and I cover the whole thing up with a little bit of fabric for extra layering. And then I have a little ticket, a little label down here. I think this looks so sweet, and it goes here with this paper clip. This paper clip, I wanted to use a little bit of the green that's in the background over here, so I put a little green. See how pretty that looks against this green. I love that. So that goes here, and then on the other side of the paper clip I made a little, it goes like this, and what it is a school card. I don't know what flashcards I think you call these, that you can obviously journal all around here if you like. And I made a really cute little messy tab that dangles down. I have a little ticket that I found on Etsy from a really nice seller. And then here I made a little envelope. There's a little card in there. Let me see. I think there's a little something in there. This is a stretchy material that a stretchy little lace for the little belly band. And then here's a little ticket that's holding everything together. I made a little cluster here. And I think there's something here, and if there isn't, I will add a little something in there. But you can put a little secret note in there or something. So that whole little collage goes in here. This page is a piece of lace that I recently found and I am in love with because it's already in the prettiest colors that I don't have to tea dye, and I love. More journaling. As you can tell, there's plenty. This is the center, and I chose this page because I love it. You can easily tuck that in there if you like. I love this page. So that's my center, and it's very simply tied here. The back of that piece of lace. Here I made a ruffle out of the edge of I think this is a pillowcase that I washed and ironed everything that I pick up at garage sales and thrift shops. That's the first thing that I do. I wash and iron, and then I categorize by color in little Ziploc bags. So this was ready to go, and I just made a little ruffle, and it looks really pretty as it peeks out of the journal. Here I made a little tab out of that see-through fabric that I love. Plenty. You can journal all along here. You can journal all along here. Sometimes I get questions like, where do you journal? There's, if there's so much going on. You can journal anywhere you want, which is fun. But I left, see, you can journal all along here if you like. Maybe your thought of the day or whatever. But this has plenty of room to journal on. As you can tell, this was a very loved book. The back of that glassine with where I mimic the little tab. This I love because this I also picked up from somewhere, and you can see the, how the seam on it, and you can tell that it came off a garment or it came off something, and I love that look purposely. So I don't try to deconstruct it so much where you cannot kind of see where it came from. I like for it to look like it's a recyclable material. This is the back of that receipt. I made another little tab here with a little bit of eyelet trim with a little scallop at the end that's embroidered. It looks so pretty. And then here I have a little tab that I made. Hang on just one. Okay, I'm back. I made this little tab right here, like a little tuck spot. This is from a paper collection and it's scalloped like that, so I cut it and distressed it a little bit and made a little tuck spot. I have a little card here, a little plain card keeping up with the little number theme that I have going on. And I have a little sari silk and then a little tiny little cluster of some vintage lace that goes here. I have her. She is so cute. I love her. Beautiful. And I love this sari that I recently purchased. I love it. And then a little bit of sewing there. She is as cute as can be. And then back here, I found this. You can journal in the back. I found this, and this is a printable also that I'm going to list where I got it from. And again, this came off a little embroidery book. And I love it so much. Look how pretty. So that's a little secret journaling spot. That goes right in there. The back of the other side of a little children's book. Again, you can journal everywhere. My beautiful map. The back of this advertisement sheet. Another blank page with a little bit of a Battenberg lace, messy tab. This is a little embroidery pattern just for texture. I made a little tab here with this fabric that I love. Again, let me give you a close-up again. I just cannot get enough of this. I love it. So that's that. I'm looking at my little cat is sitting there looking at me doing this. How cute. Outside, my outside cat is just sitting there looking at me. More paper, children's book, journaling, another piece of map, the back of this receipt, which is the prettiest blue ever. And then here I made another little messy tab with a little Battenberg lace that I and cotton that I ruffled up. And this is the back of that page in the front. See, there's plenty of room to journal on. Children's book. And then here, this is from the little glassine bag. I added a little flip that you can kind of write your secret journaling. It's got vintage. Let me show you up close because it's really pretty. It's got a little bit of everything. Vintage wallpaper back here, like flocked. This is a little tiny little piece of that embroidery book, and then I did a little cluster up here. And then I put as a little messy tab a little bit of that fabric that I'm like in love with. And then the back side, I just put a little card back here, and then did a little this is a tiny little fringe from the edge of the fabric that I love to use. And then I went ahead and added a little piece of selvage, little white trim right over it. I like that. And then the embroidery, the doily right here, the back side of the glassine, which I love because you can see right through it, and it's kind of like a little peekaboo. And then I have another one of these pretty girl image back here. I did a little cluster and put her there. And all these little images are different. They're not the same in every book. They're like different, but I think they all work together and they look really nice. And then the back is done the same way. So that's it, guys. This is my pretty shabby, getting all this shabby goodness out of my system journal. I hope you liked her. I hoped you were able to pick up a few little tips, maybe some ideas, some things that you might want to incorporate into your journal making adventure. Okay, guys, I hope you liked her. Thanks for watching. God bless. Bye-bye.